Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. Hope you are all well. I'm still in Tenerife, as you can see. Harrington's still at home. Still hasn't invested in a decent bit of lighting. Open a window, maybe.
They're all open. It's this time of day. It's a little overcast in New York right now. It looks like we're gonna get rain. So my lighting is screwed over by the clouds.
Yeah, I'm only kidding, buddy. Thank you for being here, and thank you all for being here. We have Tom Aspinall joining us later today, of course. Heavyweight sensation who will be returning very, very soon back to the octagon. And I want to hear all about his thoughts on the heavyweight division, because a lot has changed in that regard with Jon Jones and Stipe and Sergey Pavlovich and all the rest of it. But a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of fights happening this weekend, some interesting stuff. Nate Diaz got arrested this morning as well. Should we just start with that stuff?
Yeah, of course. It's the biggest story everywhere right now.
Yeah. No, it is. Listen, again, I've put out 2 YouTube videos on this, right? I put out one, just reporting what happened. And in that, I did say, listen, the man's almost 40. He needs to just maybe think a little bit more, and I'm saying that from experience as a man that's been through this and a man that has had to learn and had to learn the hard way, And anyway, then he had to surrender himself this morning. He's been charged with second-degree battery. I read somewhere that second-degree battery maximum of 8 years and a something $1,000 fine. He's not going to get that, is he? Hell, he's going to get nowhere near that. And I was getting flamed for it. All the MMA websites love to throw out Bisping says, you know what I mean? Like in a, like I'm talking crap. I'm not talking crap about Diaz, but you don't want to be getting involved in altercations on the street when you're a world-class fighter with what would be predominantly a layman. A guy that's not a fighter. I know he's had a few boxing fights, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, a video came out again, another angle. So I did another video this morning, and I went, whoa, Diaz is innocent, baby. Now, that doesn't mean he's innocent of everything, but that guy on the second video clip, and maybe, Brian, you can bring that up and show it. But in fact, don't actually. I put it on my YouTube, and then we got demonetized because it's too violent. YouTube needs to bloody calm down. The guy's approaching Diaz, and it looked like there was a mass brawl going on. You've all seen it by now anyway. Mass brawl going on. Diaz pushes someone out the way, and he's kind of disengaging from the main madness of the crowd. And then this Rodney Peterson, whoever he is, comes up, and he looks like he's engaging. Well, he got what he wanted. Simple as that. And now, of course, like always, they start it gets finished, and then they go to the police. Now, do we know, is it him that went to the police, or is it the city of New Orleans that are choosing to just press charges themselves?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I don't know. I just know that New Orleans had notified Nate that there was a warrant out for his arrest.
Yeah, that's right. Just bring up the statement from his lawyer, if you can, please, Brian. But there's no need, in fact. He just said they're complying with everything. He's gone in. He's been arrested. He's posted bail, and now he's back out. He's had his mugshot taken, his fingerprints taken, and there it is. And now it's in the judicial system. In my video, what I was talking about was, there it is. It said, bond has been granted and posted with the full permission from the court to resume travel, which includes returning back to Stockton. We appreciate how we were treated by the New Orleans Police Department. So please treat us nicely and fairly. You know what I mean? Look how well we're speaking about the police department publicly. No, I spoke about this because obviously I've got a little bit of experience when it comes to these matters, and the sun has just come out from behind a cloud, and now I'm looking like I'm coming from wherever.
Can I have some of yours?
We need the happy medium. When you're a trained fighter, now obviously the laws in the UK and the USA are different, but they're very close as well. And they're very similar, maybe some different language and whatnot. Certainly you can get an abortion everywhere in the UK. Sorry, couldn't resist that one. But if you're a trained individual, if you're a martial artist, if you're a pro fighter, if you're, let's say, someone that served in the army and seen real combat, you get treated a little bit differently. And it's fair and unfair at the same time because you're still a human being. But I remember when I got done, the judge told me, in fact, he told me several different judges told me on different occasions that because of my martial arts training, I perceived threats of violence different to an untrained individual. You know what I'm saying? So that therefore my emotions, my adrenaline shouldn't have been as heightened. Do you know what I mean? And I shouldn't have acted the way that I did.
That is, I legitimately thought that was just a thing they said in movies. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was just something straight out of Con Air or Undisputed. That's crazy. If you have been training your entire life to know what to do instinctively in a fight or flight situation, it should be that much more lenient, especially if the fight is coming to you. Right? If you've been training for 20 years to know exactly when the right distance is, what the right shot to throw is to neutralize a threat to you, and a threat is coming at you, that's your training.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, and unfortunately, yes, Brian?
All of that is fine and dandy, but I saw the video. Nate dumped that dude on his face.
Well, I was just about to say, I think from the video perspective, he did the bare minimum. He choked him out. And I know we talked about this on the last show, but it has escalated, much like it did at that bloody in the city of New Orleans. You know, all that was missing was the Bourbon Street bitch. But he choked him out. It was a blood choke. He did not then put him down. He didn't tap dance on his head. You know, he didn't savagely beat him. He didn't send him to hospital. I mean, all right, he's accentuating. He's showing a little bit of blood on the back of his head. That's probably That's the most dangerous part, falling on the back of your head, unconscious on concrete. But if you're going to go out fighting pro fighters, you know, what do you expect?
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I do think my only issue with Nate is it seemed like that was a continuation of when he was throwing the bottles inside the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he turned around, threw the water bottles. It seemed like that fight then spilled out into the street. You could argue that Nate did start that altercation, right?
Well, he did, and that's kind of what I was talking about. Listen, we all love the thug element, if you will, of Nate Diaz. We love, you know, he won't back down and all the rest of it. And I'm kind of doubling down what I said the other day. But at some point, you can't go around doing that. You know, walking around, throwing whatever it is. Oh, it's pretty harmless, a bottle of water. You throw a bottle of water hard enough, though, you could do some damage at someone. And, of course, it just makes me think of the Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz press conference when Conor starts throwing cans of Monster. That's definitely leveling up a touch. Do you know what I mean? But still, you do stuff like that. And then that was starting a brawl, you know, and I don't want to go on about it, but, you know, yeah, regardless. It's like, dude, come on. But whatever. Hey, who am I to judge? I made a lot of mistakes. Took me a long time to grow up.
I'll tell you right now, I would buy a Nate Diaz mugshot t-shirt.
Ooh.
That's going to be cool merch. He's going to be able to do something cool with an actual mugshot of a Stockton gangster. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, no, it is. But still, let's see how all of that plays out now. This weekend, there's a big fight going down between Luke Rockhold and Mike Perry. And that's a sentence I never thought I would ever say in my life. And I say it's big. It's not big. It was certainly intriguing to me. I do know for a fact that they're getting paid very, very handsomely. But the promotion for this has been fantastic. We saw a few weeks ago, they had the initial press conference where, you know, Perry whacks the booger on him. And then he's like, you know, did you conceive, believe, achieve, Luke? Last person, you know, Michael Bisping knocked you out. Michael, when's the last time Bisping knocked anyone out? You know, but still, I laughed. And then this week, they've been carrying it on and they've been hyping this fight very, very well. And I, for one, I've never watched a BKFC event in my life. I won't be watching this one, but I will be trying to find the highlights of it on Sunday morning. I'm not going to lie. Play that clip, Brian, that we've got of them two going back and forth earlier.
Luke's mom wants me to win. That's who wants me to win.
Why do you say that?
So her baby boy will go home and stop this fight. Well, I'm going to send him packing, Mom. You look like your mom still does your laundry. She made your bed this morning. She gave you some applesauce. Did she feed you applesauce by the spoon?
I do everything myself. I've been that way for 20 years.
Damn.
All right, listen, I've got no beef with Luke Rockhold these days whatsoever, and I wish him the best this weekend, but he just can't do it, can he? Do you know what I mean? I am no trash-talking mastermind, but I look like one when I went up against Luke Rockhold. I mean, there he is. Perry's giving him a hard time, and he's saying the best he can come up with is, I made my own bed.
Pro tip. When somebody starts shitting on you, you don't defend yourself. You shit back on them.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Brian. That's the whole thing. You don't go, whoa. No, I made my own bed this morning.
For 20 years.
I don't even like apple juice. What are you talking about? Mike, you're out of your mind. I haven't had apple juice since I was a kid. Oh, dear. Bless. Well, Perry's certainly making it interesting and exciting. And so is Luke Rockhold with, once again, the choice of fashion. Now, I know they're in Colorado, and Luke Rockhold's a fashionable guy. And maybe it's me. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean? He's the model. He's the Ralph Lauren guy. I'm certainly not. But last time he had that crazy jacket, and this time I know he's in Colorado, but he's not on the slopes. You're doing an interview, you know? Oh, bloody hell. It's hilarious. So, go on.
Somebody else pointed out to me that Luke has a bookcase behind him with no books on it.
Well, it's not where he lives, is it? He's not where he lives in his defense, but even still, I think there probably is a fair bit of interest in this fight because it's Luke Rockhold, a former UFC middleweight champion who was very, very dominant and is formidable. He's a formidable fighter, simple as that. And Mike Perry he's perfectly suited to bare knuckle. You know, Mike Perry he's a brawler. He's a little bit out there. He doesn't care. He's willing to talk a bit of crap. And I find him very, very entertaining. And I think this will be a good scrap. Let's remember, I think Luke Rockhold wins this fight. I think he does, but I don't think it's going to be easy. You know, let's remember Perry beat Michael Venom Page in bare knuckle, who again is very tall, 6'3", very long. You know what I mean? Perry's suited to this. He wants to get on the inside. He wants to get it dirty. He wants to, just have a wild, scrappy fight. Someone like Michael Venom Page and somebody like Luke Rockhold wants to style it, wants to keep it at range, wants to use all his skill and finesse and all the rest of it. Well, the perfect antidote to that is somebody like Mike Perry that's going to try and brawl you on the inside, and so he's got the momentum on his side. I still think Rockhold does it. I think Perillo will have done a tremendous job at, refining his skills, getting him ready for this, working on this side of things, even though that side of things wasn't very good in the press conference or that little clip that we saw. I think Rockhold takes it. I think he manages to keep it at range. I think Rockhold probably finishes him, if I'm honest.
Really? Oh,
Rockhold can crack, man.
He is the much bigger guy. when I think of Luke Rockhold, right? Like I think of his kicking arsenal. I think of his jiu-jitsu arsenal. I do, better than anybody. The hand coming down when he's overextending on his punches a little bit. Granted, that is, I guess, why you go to Perillo. And that's got to be a super cool exercise for Perillo, right? Coming from the boxing world and then, transitioning into MMA coaching, now being able to take those skills into like a hybridization of the both. That's got to be pretty sick. But I don't know, man. There's just something about Mike Perry's style that's like, you said it yourself. He is perfectly suited for bare knuckle fighting. Yeah, he has no dreams of a modeling career. He's ready to get down and dirty.
Brian, what do you think? Where would you put your money?
I really don't like to bet against Mike Perry because he's a little maniac, but Luke Rockhold is massive comparatively, so I just have to put my money on Luke Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold could easily, he did fight at 205. Perry fought a lot of the time at lightweight. Is a massive, right? He fought at lightweight. He did. Okay. 100% he fought at lightweight. There's a big size difference. Size matters. And yeah, Perry's scrappy and he's a nutter. And I'm a fan.
What are the weight classes? Like, how are these guys fighting each other?
Well, Perry's bulked up. Look at Harrington feverishly checking out. Did Perry fight at lightweight? It doesn't matter.
I looked it up. He did. You're not wrong.
Okay, I know, but you were just dying to prove me wrong.
I knew that happened because Bisping said it happened.
Actually, Mike, he didn't.
I was looking.
You were wrong.
I was looking
on
up
your own podcast.
Oh Christ! I was looking at the weight for this fight. It's they're fighting at 175 pounds.
But when you found out I was right, you weren't going to interrupt. By the way, you were right. But it's okay.
Nailed it.
Believers are gonna defend you either way. What weight are they fighting at?
175.
There's no way they're fighting at 175, 195 maybe.
That's what I'm seeing here. Let me double check on the BKFC website.
No. There's no way Luke Rockhold's fighting at 175 pounds. Don't worry about it. Don't check any further. We don't need to know. I guarantee it's not 175 pounds. We just said Luke Rockhold's a massive man. Okay, it will not be just based on pure logic. It's not going to be 175 pounds. If it is, then good luck, Luke, because you're going to get knocked out if you do that weight cut.
Maybe that's why he's wearing the coat. Because he's just got to keep sweating at all times.
He's a very smart man. He knows what he's doing. Okay, let's talk about HTLT supplements. A package from these guys arrived right before I flew out to Tenerife, and I'm very, very grateful because, listen, I'm on the go. I'm living out of a hotel room and a suitcase, but I know that I'm putting in all the nutrients that my body requires, okay? They have all kinds of stuff. They got the multivitamin, which I'm using, so it gives you all the nutrients, as I say. They got the pre-workout, which is fantastic. I'm telling you, I'm flying through these workouts. I'm working out like a beast. I'm losing weight. And that's partly due to the shred, which is another one of their, it's a metabolism boosting supplement, makes you feel great. You don't feel wired. It's not like you've had 6 cups of coffees or 5 Red Bulls or anything like that. You just feel good. You feel energetic. The workouts fly by. And this is all, it's backed by science in over a dozen human trials, all showing clear benefits from their supplements, whether it be sleep, mood, energy, performance, well-being, and as I say, the weight loss. Now, it's not specific to just one sport or sportsmen or cardio only. It's simply taking it will get you to a place of overall improvement, confidence, and motivation. It isn't a supplement just for the hardcore athlete, as I said, but anyone, including a couch potato who has trouble even getting up to exercise. You want to take care of yourself. You want to get moving, most importantly. If you are a couch potato, stop doing that. Stop eating crap. Start putting good stuff in your body and start with a multivitamin. We do not get enough nutrients into our system. It is as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It really is. And HTLT, these are quality supplements, okay? So whether you just want the nutrients from the multivit, you want to lose a bit of weight with a shred, you want to work out harder in the gym with the pre-workout, they have a whole bunch of supplements. So check out the website, which is htltsubs.com, to check out everything, as I say, from the pre-workout, the protein, that's delicious, by the way, and all the other supplements that they have. Make sure you use the promo code Bisping for 10% off. Now, once again, that is htltsubs.com. The code is Bisping, but only if you want 10% off. All right, let's get back into the show. All right, non-MMA. Harrington said there's not a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world, buddy boy. There's a lot going on. Give us that stuff. What's going on with Fox and CNN and all that stuff?
So a couple of big changes. Tucker Carlson was the highest rated personality in cable news, in cable period, attracting over 3 million viewers a night. However, Friday was his last show. Unceremoniously, press release came out over the weekend. He would not be returning to Fox News, and his show has been like a lot of fill-ins and replacements in that 8 p.m. slot. For the time being, at the same
kind of like when Lewis left, and then we were bringing in like little replacements here and there. Oh, we got this guy filling in. Hey, what's up?
yeah, dude. That's it. Just trying out people to replace Tucker, and then Don Lemon on the same day, one of the top anchors at CNN, was on a leave of absence. It was reported that he was let go.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to talk about there. I mean, you just said like the highest rated guy in cable. TV, essentially. TV's dead. I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, these guys are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. I don't know what Tucker Carlson gets. I read this story about Don Lemon when I saw that, and he's on like $4 or $5 or $6 million per year. So he's on a fat contract, and but just keeping it. We'll get to the TV thing in a minute, but keeping it on them two. Well, not them two. When I say them two, I mean CNN and Fox News. They're both as bad as each other. They both talk out their ass. They do. Fox News is so far right. CNN so far left. They both have clearly an agenda. They both talk out the ass. Of course, Fox was just sued. What was it? $775 million for all that stuff over the Dominion stuff with, whatever you want to call it.
Voter fraud.
Voter fraud.
Allegations.
I'm sure that's something to do. That's possibly a knee-jerk reaction. But they talk out their ass. CNN talk out their ass. Sometimes when I'm like, if I get 30 minutes free, I'm about to go commentate or whatever, I'm all done. I've done my prep, done my research, put the news on just for a minute, and I'll come across CNN, and then I'll go to Fox News just for a laugh, and just both of them. They're both giving exact opposites events of what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And depending on what you want to believe, you're just going to keep consuming that. You know what I mean? Whether you're far right or you're far left, a Democrat, Republican, whatever you want to call it. I'm neither. So I find it absolutely bloody hilarious.
Well, like I noticed when I was living at my folks' place during the pandemic, like they are nightly Fox News watchers. And the thing that I picked up from just like hearing it in the background over and over again is just the constant fear mongering, right? If we can make you afraid, if we can get your anxiety up, you'll stick through the next commercial break to find out, the solution to the people who are trying to take away your way of life. CNN is doing the exact same thing. Americans are being mistreated X, Y, and Z for this reason. Find out more after this commercial break. They're all just trying to sell you a pillow. Like, that's it. Just stick around. Buy the pillow.
Well, Fox News are. MyPillow.com.
I'm sure there's a liberal pillow out there.
Yeah, there's got to be. Oh, fluffy little sensitive pillow. This will make you more understanding to other people's cares and desires and wants and needs.
Yeah, I bet you somebody just made a pillow to just fight with them. I bet you there is.
And it's
our
many
pillow.
Different colors. This Our Pillow is fantastic. Oh, yeah, Our Pillow.
That is what it's called.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that's hilarious. Yeah. No, in the UK, and again, UK is better, there is an authority. News channels aren't allowed to just bullshit. You know what I mean? It has to be based in fact. I forget the exact law, the wording of it or whatever, but, and rightly so, because people turn on the TV, they see a respected organization like Fox or CNN or whatever, and they believe that what they're being told is true. So there needs to be a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? A certain responsibility that they have to uphold to always be endeavoring to tell the truth. Now, of course, it's the fucking news. So good luck with that.
Well, they get around that a lot by not saying that this is the news, but this is an editorial program. So it's like, this is the opinion of the anchor that is on. And that's how they get around it a lot.
And we have a source. The source said such and such
anonymous
and such.
Source.
Yeah, anonymous source. The source doesn't exist, and then so based upon that, and then they go off on a tangent with that whatever rhetoric it is. Yeah. Oh well. But it did make me laugh. Don Lemon, he was fired. This was insane, and I don't watch CNN. I stumble across it sometimes. What was Don Lemon fired for? Just give me the exact quote.
My man puts his foot in his mouth repeatedly. Let me look it up.
He does. He says a lot of silly stuff. But he was talking about women, and he said women are out of the prime when they get to the 50s, right? He said in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, they're still in their prime. In the 50s, they're past the prime.
He was talking about Republican presidential nominee now, Nikki Haley. He said, this whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's a wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something, if not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, a woman is considered to be in their prime in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, Lemon said during CNN this morning.
Hold on. Brian's in here 1 second. I just want to, if you're going to say what I'm going to say. How could they be saying that about her in the 50s? Joe Biden's running again, and he can't string a sentence together, man. And he's in his 80s, and this is supposed to be the most powerful man, the leader of the free world. Do you know what I mean? He's falling upstairs.
I was just going to expand on Harrington's reasoning for this guy getting fired. Like last week, he had a guy on named Vivek Ramaswamy, and they were talking about, and this dude, Vivek, was talking about how like racism isn't the problem that Don Lemon says it is. And then Don Lemon was instead of continuing the interview, he just insisted on fighting with him. The producers were in his ear, probably telling him to stop, but he was like, I can't continue a train of thought with you guys yelling in my ear. So he literally shut his producers off. Like it was a fucking nightmare for a broadcast team. And that was the final. Yeah, that was the final straw for him for sure.
It reminds me. Have you ever seen The Morning Show?
The Apple TV show? No.
Yeah, Apple TV. Rebecca was watching it. It's not really my thing. What's her name?
Reese Witherspoon or Jennifer Aniston?
No, Reese without a spoon.
Reese with her fork.
Have you seen that meme? Reese with a spoon, Reese without a spoon. I'm very childish. It made me laugh. Yeah, same thing on there. She does the same shit. Anyway, enough of that. English people, the Ugandans, the people all over the world. They don't know what Fox is. They don't know what CNN is. They just want to hear about MMA and have some good old-fashioned banter. We do have Tom Aspinall joining us, as I said. But give me a funny story, Harrington. Give me something I can dissect, something we can talk about.
Non-MMA or MMA?
Whatever you want.
Here? Okay, I think.
Just do it.
This one's interesting. Max Holloway says he wants a rematch with Conor McGregor under UFC 1 rules. He said, open weight. Back in the day, they didn't care about that. I'll go full on old school UFC for a rematch with Conor McGregor. What do you think about that?
So basically, he wants a street fight.
Yeah. Do groin strikes, eye gouging.
I wonder why he's calling out McGregor all of a sudden. I mean, I guess, I did see his quote a few days ago. He said he was one of the only people at featherweight. In fact, the only one at featherweight to not get finished by him. And of course, Max is he's kind of in purgatory, Max, isn't he? And I do feel sorry for him because he's an incredible fighter of the highest degree. I mean, Max Holloway is just phenomenal, but he's not the champ. And with respect, I don't think he'll ever be champ again. He's just one step behind Volkanovski. And Volkanovski shut that book last time. And Holloway's out there. He's beaten the number one contenders. He beat Arnold Allen clearly. He was just too good, but he's not going to get a title fight. So I guess he's in this weird one now where he's just chasing huge fights outside of his division, outside of the sport. He even talked about boxing. He said, I wouldn't mind boxing, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, any of those guys, let's go. Yeah, I feel for him because he's clearly one of the best. He's still in his prime. He's not slowing down. But I don't think he'll be the champion again. What do you reckon?
Well, I mean,
he might be.
Look, the guy who's going to beat Alexander Volkanovski is likely in the UFC right now. You know what I mean? He just got beat by somebody in the UFC, Harrington. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Okay. Well, yeah. A, that's debatable. B,
well. According to history, historic facts and data, you like to look things up.
Okay, fair enough.
Just look up his record. He just got beat. Okay, so shut up.
The featherweight who's going to beat Alexander Volkanovski is likely in the UFC right now, right? Like that's
might be Yair Rodriguez.
Could be any number of people, but I do genuinely believe Alexander Volkanovski is going to get the immediate rematch versus whoever beats him, and at that point, Max Holloway is next up in line, right? So I do think there's always a path.
Yeah, but it's not for your peace of mind, for yourself as a fighter, more importantly as a person. You can't base your whole existence and your whole career just hanging around waiting for the champion to get beat. You know what I'm saying? That's not what a world champion does. That's not the mindset of someone that wants to be the champion, that wants to be the best, that wants to make history, that's out there fighting for your family. So, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to tread water in the deep end, and eventually someone's going to fail. And their failure will be my come up. You know what I'm saying? It's just David Goggins would not say that. Stay hard, okay? Suck it up. Stay in that fucking deep end. Wait for the champion. He'll fall, and then you'll rise, okay? Stay fucking hard, guys. Let's go.
Or you go the Anthony Smith route and just train every contender that goes up against Volkanovski.
What is Anthony Smith doing? Where is he today, by the way? Joking. We knew he couldn't make it. Obviously, getting very, very close now to his fight against Johnny Walker in Charlotte, North Carolina. Can't wait. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous for Anthony.
I was saying that to somebody, just yesterday. Like Alex gave me the green light. I'm allowed to go. So I'm thinking about driving down there, but I've never been to a fight like. I mean, obviously, it was at your fight. Right. But I was, and that's at the Garden. That's the only time I've ever known somebody who's in there in the cage. And I don't know, man, that's a nerve-wracking experience. I can't imagine what it's like to get in there. Yeah, no, it's way different. When you know the person, obviously we watch so many fights and we consume a lot of it. But when you know them personally, it's on a different level. And then when you're friends with them, very close friends, you do a podcast, like for me and Anthony, we go off on these tangents and we talk for ages, and it's great. I think that's why people enjoy it. It's just two guys. We're talking about our thoughts and our feelings and all the rest of it. And you build a real connection. When someone like that, a family member, just someone close to you steps into an octagon, it is absolutely terrifying. So that's why I say I'm nervous for him. I'm not nervous because I don't think he can compete. I'm not nervous because I think he's going to lose or anything like that. It's just, that's my mate. That's my mate stepping in there, and I hope everything goes well. I hope he wins the fight. I hope he does great. I hope he puts his best foot forward and comes out in one piece, But that doesn't always happen, sadly. It's a tough, bloody game. So I don't know. I'm kind of calling an audible here, but I just saw yesterday the odds were posted for the fight. Anthony, slight underdog. Right. You want to make some money. Yeah. I mean, listen, I guess when you look at Anthony, because what's his record? Can you bring up his record? Sure. Well, obviously, he had the leg break, didn't he? I mean, that's never good. That's going to slow someone's momentum. Hold on. 36-17. And then I'll look up his UFC record now. It's okay. Yeah, no. Okay. I meant his form, his last few fights. Because records don't tell the true story. All right, it was only the one. I thought there might have been two. I couldn't remember. So it was a leg break against Magomed Ankalaev. So he's coming back from a nasty injury. Before that, 3 tremendous wins. Devin Clark, Jimmy Crute, Ryan Spann, all stoppages, and he looked phenomenal. Right, Jimmy Crute, Dr. Sovic just destroyed his legs. Ryan Spann, I mean, he looked like a man possessed. He looked like there wasn't a man on this planet that would stop him. And Devin Clark, beautiful, slick triangle choke off his back. Then he snaps his leg, Listen, it happens. And against Magomed Ankalaev, if there's a man that you're going to snap your ankle on, it's Ankalaev. It's just that Johnny Walker's such a freak, but he has calmed that down a bit. It's a tremendous fight. I'm excited, but I'm bloody, bloody nervous. Anyway, as we all are, I won't be there, though. I'm not going to lie. Where am I right now? Tenerife. And this time next week, where will I be? I'm assuming Tenerife. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when I get back, I can't say to the kids, hi, kids, by the way, going to go watch my podcast. Yeah, I can watch it on TV, correct. No, I don't have an official role. Do I have a ticket? No, but I'm going to bother someone. But getting there, no, I'm going to spend a fortune on flights and hotels. And I will go out and I will return hungover. And I know you haven't seen me in ages. But still, I love you. Just that. So I can't do it, man. If I was home the whole time, then I would do. But anyway, let's get back to the show. What are we talking about here? So let's talk about Israel Adesanya. Give me the lowdown on this. And this is a little bit tricky and a little bit spicy. So don't say anything too much because, Israel's been very insulting and he's talking about, well, just give the bloody quotes. What's he saying? So Israel took some exception to what Dricus was saying going back and forth. He did clarify that he never once said that Dricus was not an African, but he said that he has an issue with this quote unquote cracker questioning the Africanness of Francis Ngannou, of Kamaru Usman, and himself. And the actual quote is here: "Be careful what you wish for. You got what you want. He's next. I'm going to effing beat him until he's black."
Yeah. I mean, it's spicy for them because obviously they are both African, and there's a lot of history and politics there that I'm going to stay out of, especially as a white Englishman. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, you just shut up, Bisping. I don't like the language out of Izzy there, calling him the cracker. Well, what is a cracker for those non-Americans? Because I'm not.
As far as I
know it's an insult to a white person, right?
Yeah,
it's just what black people call white people if they want to be insulting.
The way I heard it, the way I've always understood it is like whip cracker. Right, going back to
really? Well, that's not too bad then. Well, fair enough. I don't blame him.
Pretty rough. He also called him a colonizer.
Yeah. Well, anyway, whatever. Staying out of all that stuff because that's none of my business or yours. The fight. I mean, Dricus Du Plessis. I'm a fan of that guy. I think he's awesome. I love what he brings to the table. He's a lovely guy when you meet him. Fights his heart out, but he's sloppy. He gets caught. He gets out wrestled, and he gasses. But he's fun because he's such, I'll use the term warrior for a cliched term, but he's a fighter, man. He's a real fighter. And he most of the time finds a way to get it done. Who was his last fight? Derek Brunson. I mean, that was a fun fight. I was in the crowd, place was going crazy against Darren Till again, but he's not on the level of an Israel Adesanya. It's just as simple as that. Izzy would piece him up. Izzy would have a field day. Now, of course, there's always that, that puncher's chance and all the rest of it. And Dricus will be fired up and he's getting better and his gas tank will be all the... Nah. There's levels to this game. Israel Adesanya is leaps and bounds at this moment in time over Dricus Du Plessis.
No, certainly. And I mean, we're talking, this guy is 5-0 in the UFC. Seems like an absolute world beater, but what is it? 2 fights before he got into the UFC, he was KO'd. Not TKO, KO'd. So it's like, it's one of those things where if you're really going to let your chin do the talking for you against somebody with the precision and power of Israel Adesanya, and you've already had your chin cracked once in the past, like I could see if it's somebody who's never been knocked out. That's a little bit different to me, but this is somebody who within the last 3 years has been KO'd. I just do not see this going well for him.
Well, the fight that needs to happen, the fight that I want to see is Robert Whittaker again. You know what I'm saying? What is the appetite? Do you feel like that, Brian? I mean, obviously, it's kind of like it's getting to the Max Holloway, Volkanovski territory, but it's only 2. It's not against 3. And the third one, Volkanovski, shut the door with authority. You know what I mean? Whittaker is catching up. The first fight, he got finished. The second fight was close. He did it a lot better. And Whittaker's looked on fire. Is it just the one fight with Marvin Vettori he's had since? And is there a booking for Whittaker? I think I saw some news
Whittaker
recently.
versus Du Plessis we talked about on the last show.
Was Whittaker versus Du Plessis? Yeah, I don't think, I don't know if I'm going to be commentating that one. Is it on a pay-per-view?
UFC 290, yes.
Right, well, I will not be commentating that one then. I will not be commentating that one. And those Tommy turntables. What's up, Big Tom?
What's going on? How's things going? Sorry I'm a bit late. I had some technical difficulties.
Oh, God. It's a classic, isn't it? You can always use that one, can't you?
New headphones, mate. What do you reckon? They sound all right. Everything good?
Yeah, they look better than your ears. So, yeah, I like them. They look good, mate. They look good. How's everything, Tom? You good, buddy?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. How's things? Where are you at the moment?
I am in Tenerife.
Lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's my first time here. I love it. I mean, I'm not down the south where all the party animals are. I'm in the north where all the cultured people, the intelligent people. You know what I mean? And I fit right in. We're having long conversations about books and history and politics, and I'm wowing the locals with my brilliance.
I bet.
No, that's the best you got.
I'm loving it. I bet. What's the weather like? It's nice. Nice
lovely.
weather, is it?
It's lovely, mate. It's lovely. Tom, you've been away for a little bit. Obviously, now you're back. The legs feeling fantastic. You're looking bigger and leaner than ever. You've packed on tremendous amounts of muscle. There's been a lot going on in the heavyweight division. I'm assuming, don't say anything unless you're allowed to or whatever, but I'm assuming you're going to have a fight pretty soon. But all in all, what's going on with the career, Tom?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm just waiting, basically. To be honest with you, I'd love to tell you that I've got a fight, but I've been lying. I've been told that I'm going to fight on the 22nd of July on the London show, and I'm just waiting to get confirmation on that. You know, me and a couple of guys have had a few back and forths online, but nothing officially confirmed at the moment. So, yeah, just waiting on that, mate. I'm ready to go. I'm completely ready to go. Everything's good. The body's in a great place. The mind is good, better than ever, actually. And yeah, everything's good. I'm just waiting on an opponent right now. So that's where I'm up to.
All right. Well, we'll keep us posted and looking forward to finding out. Since your last fight, the heavyweight division, a lot has happened. Cyril Gane got beaten by Jon Jones. We haven't spoken about that. What did you think about that fight, Tom? What do you think we saw from Jon Jones that interests you?
Well, we saw from Jon Jones, I think, what everyone was expecting to see from Jon Jones, in my opinion. We knew that Jon Jones could do that. What we were unsure about is how would Cyril Gane react in that under the pressure like he did. And it was very odd to see, because I followed Cyril Gane's career closely. You know, I've known Cyril Gane for quite a while. Fought like 3 of his teammates and stuff. And to me, it looked. I don't want to slag the guy off because I like Cyril Gane. He's a very nice guy, and he's always been.
You just can't not like the guy. He's doing a little bit on this film out here. I know, so we've been hanging out a little bit, had a few dinners. He's the nicest guy on the face of the earth.
Oh, you've got a new heavyweight friend, have you, mate? I didn't realise I was getting replaced.
Cheating on you, Tom. I am. That's it. I was like, but he's not here right now. I'm like, I'll have to call Tom, for crying out loud.
Oh, come on. No, but I do like him a lot. He's a really nice guy. And to me, though, I don't know. Something looked off with him. I don't know exactly what it was. He didn't look. I don't know. Obviously, his grappling isn't up to the level of Jon Jones's. But on the contrary to that, in my opinion, he is one of the most athletic heavyweights that's ever fought in the UFC. You see the guy on Instagram, 250 pounds, whatever he is, doing muscle-ups. Like, the guy's ridiculously athletic, but he didn't seem to use any of that, which seemed very odd. Like, if you're not up to, Mike, you know better than me. If you're not up to someone's skill level, use your athletic ability. And he didn't. Like, he got taken down and there was no scramble there. There wasn't any resistance. Just spaz out. If you can't get him off, blast him off. Use whatever you can to try and get him off. And he didn't really seem to do that, which seemed a bit weird to me. I don't know if he was injured or something was going on. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he just didn't look right to me in that fight. It looked a bit odd.
Yeah. All right. So Curtis Blades came out, your old mate, and he was saying that he's going to run through Sergey Pavlovich, and he's the best matchup for Jon Jones. And, he can wrestle. He's big. He's strong. He's got the heavy hands and all the rest of it. And he went out there and he got knocked out in the first round against Sergey Pavlovich. I'm assuming that you were watching that one very closely.
I watch all the heavyweights closely. I know all, especially the top 10, top 5, because I'm around that area. So, I mean, Pavlovich couldn't miss him, could he? Simple as that. Couldn't miss him. There wasn't a punch that he threw that didn't land near enough clean. Yeah, and it just looked like a bad night for Curtis out there. He didn't seem to get anything going. His game plan seemed to be maybe a little bit off. I don't know. You just have them nights sometimes, don't you, where it's just not going right, and it seemed to be one of them. He just seemed to not be able to get things going, and Pavlovich just couldn't miss. Every punch he threw near enough landed clean, and yeah, that's the way it went.
When you look at Sergey Pavlovich, do you think that's someone in the future that I'm going to run into?
Well, I was supposed to fight him twice before, so I know a lot about Pavlovich as well.
Right.
Yeah, both times he pulled out. I'm not saying that he's scared of me or anything like that.
He's a pull-out merchant.
I'm not saying that at all. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Beep, 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 beep. News just in. Tom Aspinall says Sergey Pavlovich is ducking him.
Absolutely none of that. But I think Pavlovich is very good. I thought he was good a long time, like before. I was supposed to fight him a couple of years ago, and I thought he was good then. And I think he's good now. You know what I mean? I think he's really good. And yeah, definitely. I definitely think we're going to fight in the future at 100%.
Did you see this week Nate Diaz just got arrested?
I didn't know he got arrested. I seen that he choked out that guy. I seen the guy
choked out.
Yeah.
He just had an arrest warrant for him. So he's had to surrender himself because, otherwise they're going to get him eventually. It's just going to cause problems. So he's gone and he surrendered himself. He's been charged with second-degree assault. What do you? I mean, obviously, growing up in the northwest of England, Tom, being a big lad like yourself, but was that something that bothered you? Because you're very calm, and you don't seem like the type of guy that has drama following you around. What would you? What do you think of all that?
Oh, there's just. I presume Nate Diaz had a few beers at this point. I presume they seem to be on like some kind of night out or event or something. So. Yeah, when you're drinking, I mean, it throws things off a little bit, doesn't it? It does throw things off. You have a few beers and that, and you're usually be able to walk away, and next minute you can't. I don't know. It's just one of them, isn't it? Nate Diaz is a lot more popular than I am, and you know what it's like. People test you sometimes. People test you.
Yeah,
and I bet he gets tested way more than someone like me gets tested. So sometimes it's difficult to walk away.
I'm looking at that left arm of yours there, and it's looking pretty juicy, brother. Look at that. Jesus Christ, you could crack a walnut in it. When's the last time someone tested you?
Oh, quite recently, actually. Quite recently.
On the streets?
Yeah, on the street. Yeah.
Go on.
It's just what happens, Mike, innit? The northwest of England after a few
but
beers,
what happened? Talk us through it. Where were you, and what was the sitch?
So, first of all, it's partly my fault because...
Hey, you're honest.
No, the altercation wasn't my fault. The fact that I was in this one particular bar at the particular time that I was in there with the people who were in there, I should have known better. Do you know what I mean? I should have known way better. I shouldn't have been in that kind of place. But again, once you've had a few beers, and I was with people who wanted to go in there, I was having a good time, and I didn't just want to be that guy who's like, "Oh, come on, let's go. I'm just going to go." So I just went along with it. Do you know what I mean? The crowd of people who I was with wanted to go in this one particular bar, and it was late. It was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. maybe. I've been drinking all day.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it kind of known for being a little bit sketchy, a bit of a rougher place? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a little look in there as we were entering the room. There was definitely sketchy characters around at the time, and I should have just left it there. But instead, I soldiered on and went in. And,
as you do.
Trouble found me soon enough, so
yeah,
I had to leave before it escalated any further. We'll just we'll put it that way.
And that was in Manchester, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The last time I was tested like that was in Manchester. Man, it's a rough place.
Yeah,
they'll put you in your place.
People like a beer and a scrap, don't they? But you should know better, especially as a person like a little bit more in the public eye. You should know these kind of places, but. When you're with a crowd of people and they're going somewhere, you don't want to be that guy who says, "Oh no, I'm not going in there." You know what I mean? So I just went along with it. I'd had a few beers at the time.
Yeah, but you should be able to, Tom. And that's the thing. But you're right. Prevailing wisdom and history and being a little bit older and maturer, and sadly sometimes because of being someone in your position or my position, you got to think better. And that's the hard part as well, because you want to be a normal guy. You don't want to certainly have anyone saying that, oh, he thinks he's all gone to his head. He said he can't go here, he can't go there. But the reality is you are a known person. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about one. You know what I mean? You are a known person. You have got a little bit of fame. You do have a target on your back. So the reality is, you're not saying that I'm some kind of megastar, but it's saying I'm not going to go to these places where, unfortunately, it's going to kick off. And guess what? Little anonymous dickhead that's all aggressive, that's had too many shandies tonight, that's going to be kicking off. No one's going to be talking about him, but I'm the one that's going to be plastered all over the websites with everyone talking shit about me.
Exactly. And unfortunately, in this particular situation, they did have a knife on them as well.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just not good, is it, Mike? Like you say, you just got to read the situation a little bit better. But when alcohol's involved, it's a little bit more difficult. So
yeah,
I learned from it anyway. I learned from it, and
as soon as there's any talk or of knives and you see any knives, you got to get out of there, man. It's insane. I mean, obviously the US has a big problem with guns, but the knife situation in the UK is just bloody out of control. I'm assuming, obviously, I'm not out there. Is it still as bad as it ever was?
It's getting for bad. I was saying this to my wife recently, actually. Like, I'm getting a little bit worried now about my oldest son. He's nearly 7 now. Like, when I was 14, 15, it was like, you know, you get in a bit of trouble with a few lads and stuff, you'd have a bit of a scrap and that'd be the end of it. But now these lads are turning up to school with knives. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, and it's just going from bad to worse. And I'm just getting a little bit worried about the future for my own kids.
Yeah, well, it's mob mentality, isn't it? Because a lot of them are carrying them, so then they feel that they have to. And I know that's what it's like in inner cities. Everyone's carrying a knife. If I don't have a knife, then I'm going to be the one that's screwed. If a knife fight, it's like bringing a Twix to a knife fight or bringing a knife to a gunfight. You know what I mean? If you might be in a knife fight, then you might want to have a knife on you. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Well, you're more like you're stabbed up if you don't. It's awful. It's bloody awful. It really is. But anyway. How many fights, Tom, until you are crowned Tom Aspinall, fighting out of Manchester, England, and new UFC light heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall? How long?
I think you said light heavyweight then. Definitely, that'll be fucking a long time.
Okay, now let's go.
Definitely not light heavyweight. I don't know. I'd like to say about three or four. I think if I can get by whoever I'm fighting in July, and then one of the real top boys, then maybe a Pavlovich or a Stipe or a Sirogan or something after that. I think I'm right there, mate. To be honest, I think I'm right there. I'll be right there. The heavyweight division at the moment is just looking great, isn't it? Like, it's looking, in my opinion, I've said this on multiple interviews. Like, I think the top 15 right now is like the strongest it's ever been. I think that it's got the most talent from 1 to 15. I think any of them guys could beat each other on any given day. And I think, there's just a lot of talent. There's a lot of young guys as well in the heavyweight division now, especially like the top 10, top 15. They're all guys around, you know, they're not old legends anymore. The guys in the 30s who are still young, and they're not all torn up and their bodies aren't a mess and they've not took a million shots and stuff like that. You know, these are young, hungry guys coming through in the prime. They're not old legends who are just hanging on to the career. So it's very exciting times at heavyweight. But to answer your question, I think a couple of fights I'll be up there fighting for the title for sure. Yeah,
it's a new generation, and that's what the division needs. It's what sports need in general. Did you see recently Jones came out, and I forget the exact quote, I'm paraphrasing. He said, how cool would that be? I'll go up, I'll beat the heavyweight GOAT, and then retire. Did you see that?
I was saying this for ages. Like, I was like, look, he's going to go up there. He'll have one fight. He'll fight Stipe, and then he'll retire. And everyone says, oh, he signed an 8-fight deal or whatever, or a 6-fight deal, and he's put all this weight on. I'm like, mate, there's no chance. The guy doesn't have to be fighting someone like me or someone like Pavlovich or someone like that. Like, he's not going to want to take on young contenders anymore.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
He doesn't. I don't blame him either. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. The guy's done everything. So yeah. I always thought from the beginning maybe he'll come up, he'll have 1 or 2 fights, and then he'll leave it at that. And I'm sure that's what he's going to do. And now he's come out and said that's what he's going to do. So who knows? I think Jon Jones is the kind of guy. He says one thing and does another, and he changes his mind every 2 minutes. So we'll see what he actually does.
I think it might be 3 fights. You know what I mean? If that was me, I'd want to say, right, I'll have 3. I'll win it. I'll defend it. I'll take it off Stipe, and then I'll defend it one more time. And when I say take it, I mean take the heavyweight GOAT status, if you will, and then defend it one more time. Because as you say, he's been there, done it, got the T-shirt. His legacy and respecting the sport is not in question. It never, ever will be. But when you hear that as the competitor, Tom, does that because you just said there 3-4 fights, that could be 18 months, something like that. Yeah. Does that make you think shit? Because I know you want to be the guy, and I know you believe in yourself, and it's not misplaced belief, and it's not false confidence, and you're not talking anything bad about Jon Jones. You just believe in yourself and what you're capable of, and the icing on the cake would be to be the guy to dethrone Jon Jones. But if that wasn't available, would that be unsatisfying for you, or just it is what it is?
No, it is what it is for me. Obviously, I'd love to fight him. That would be my dream to fight Jon Jones. More so, my dream is to win the UFC heavyweight title. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter really who holds it at the time. It'd be fucking nice. Do you know what I mean? Beating someone who's considered the GOAT, that would be fucking really nice. But at the end of the day, I want to be the heavyweight champion. It doesn't really matter who holds it at the time. I think I match up well stylistically with Jon Jones, but If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not really too bothered about it. It would be really nice, but if it doesn't happen, whatever. As long as I win the title, I'm not too bothered.
Well, I can't wait to hear who you find in July, Tom, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, outside the octagon, you haven't just been sitting on your ass recovering from a broken leg, you know. You've been becoming a bit of a media sensation. You're all over the place. You're going on TV shows in England. What was that show that you did? You did a big TV show recently, right, where you were a guest.
I've done a couple, to be honest. They started calling me Mainstream Tommy these days. Mainstream Tommy Aspinall. No, I've done a couple. Which one are you referring to exactly?
I don't know what they are, but I know you've done a couple.
I've done a Question of Sport, which is a very prestigious show in the UK.
For people that don't know, that's a big time. That's mainstream.
That's and I was the first ever MMA fighter to be on it. You know, first one ever.
See, that's offensive.
Sorry, Mike.
If there's anyone that should have been picked for fucking British TV, the first ever person on Question should have been me. How did you do?
You're right. And I did a couple more Michael McIntyre show on BBC, a couple of BBC stuff, which is very mainstream in the UK. It's like one of the main channels. So yeah, it's getting up. It's getting up there. I'm doing what I can BBC. While I've been injured. I've been trying. I'm obviously working for BT Sport, the UFC, and stuff like that. So
I was going to get there. You're robbing my job. He's coming for my job. You know what I mean?
I think it was just a one-off, I think. Maybe I'll do it again, but it's not going to be a full-time thing until I'm retired.
No, do you know what, Tom? You're really, really good at it. You know, all busting balls and being silly aside. No, you're good at it, mate. Go for it. That's what you want to do. And you got to spread your wings as far and wide as you possibly can. And I think with your star power, with your charm, your personality, you know, the likability that you have, mate, keep doing what you're doing, because outside of the octagon really matters. You fight 2-3 times a year, you know, all that, if you're lucky. Sometimes it might be once. Sometimes you go years where you might not fight at all. You got to still have a presence outside the octagon because you haven't got a normal day job. You're not getting that paycheck every month or every week, are you? So keep doing it, mate. Smash it out the goddamn park. Right, I've got a few quick fire questions for you from Twitter, if you don't mind. Are you good for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good for at least 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, mate, we've got you for hours. Harrington.
Yes, sir. All right, let's see.
Have you been paying attention to the show?
I have been paying attention to the show. I'm sorry. There's gardeners and whatnot. All right.
Tom, Harrington's life has changed. My God. You know, it wasn't long this man was homeless. Now he's got gardeners. Wow.
But you've got your own gardener, really?
But the landlord called the gardeners for the place I live in. I'm not hiring gardeners. No.
Right. Well, while you ask this first question, I'm going to look at some good ones, but go ahead.
Okay, David Briscoe wants to know, Galloway's or Green Losh? He'll know what it means.
I actually don't. I know what Galloway's is. I'm not sure what Green Losh is. No idea what that is.
So he's got it here as Green Howls?
Oh, Green Alches you're talking about.
Oh, Green Alches.
Oh, Mikey B knows what that is. By the way, just on a side note, I've got a story about a gardener in a sec that I want to tell you because this.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
But I think Green Alches, to be honest, the cheese and onion pasties from there, second to none.
Are you a Greg's fan?
Yeah, Greg's is the ultimate for me, but the Greg's wasn't an option on this one. So yeah, Greg's would be number one, probably Green Alches number two, and then Galloway's maybe. I don't know.
What about Holland's pie, Tom?
Holland's are good also, but I think Greg's takes it. Definitely.
When you go to the chippy, what is it? Is it steak and kidney? Mine.
No. I actually have something a bit controversial. I have chips, fish, and gravy, which is people think that's a bit weird, but I think it's excellent.
When I go to the chippy, I don't get fish and chips. Well, number one, Rebecca used to, she still brings it up to this day, because I used to say the fish was too expensive. And it was when we were broke. We couldn't afford it. But I'm either a steak and kidney pudding, chips, peas and gravy, or a chicken and mushroom. I'm starving now, man. I am starving. Tell us this conversation, story about the gardener.
Oh, well, it's actually, it's not about the gardeners. What are they called, the people who cut your trees? You know, the people who climb up the trees?
Tree fellas.
You know what I mean. The people who cut the trees.
Yeah. Arborists.
Arborists. That's it. Yeah. So,
hey,
my dad.
There's these tree fellas walking down the street.
No, listen to this. So my dad, he had the same two guys who cut his trees for years, and the brothers as well. And one of them was up the tree, and he said that the chainsaw hit his arm. But apparently that's quite common. They wear some kind of jacket or something. Something that stops it. They leave it swinging sometimes, and it just hit his arm. And apparently it's pretty common. I was like, fuck, that sounds really bad. And he said he looked down at his arm and he noticed that his jacket was ripped, which is obviously a bit more uncommon that that's happened. So he said he's pulled his jacket open just to see where the rip is. And he said that blood started squirting over his head. And he said he looked a little bit more in and he could see that the chainsaw had ripped into his bone, cut half his bone off. And then he started going into shock. So his brother had to help him down from the ladder.
And to top it off, you're up a tree.
Yeah, he's fucking miles up the tree. He's miles up the tree. And they had to get the air ambulance, and he had to do a 7-hour surgery to sew his arm back on. Wow. His arm was near enough fully off, and he's still not got the feeling back in his fingers. I think his fingers don't work or something yet. It's fucking wild because it's the same guy that I've known for 20 years. It's really weird. My dad just told me the other day. I was like, whoa, that is wild.
What was the crappiest job or the most miserable job that you did pre-UFC and making a living out of mixed martial arts?
Well, all the jobs that I did were to supplement my basically just to pay for my training, to pay for me getting by. So I never I worked as a personal trainer. I guess I had some qualifications and shit for that. But otherwise, I was just doing stuff to get a bit of money to get me through the training. So I worked as a doorman. I worked as a cleaner. I did just a few shitty jobs like that. I was a shit doorman. I was terrible working.
Really? Why? Why were you such a bad doorman?
Oh, I didn't do fuck all. I didn't do anything unless people were fighting with each other. I wouldn't do anything. I just look away if anything was going on. But yeah, I got in a few sticky situations with that. Definitely got into a few sticky situations with that.
Yeah. No, I when I was DJing, I used to do the doors sometimes as well. At this one club, it was a rough shithole of a club, Monroe's. And
Monroe's.
Man.
Where is that now?
It was Great Harwood. It's not there anymore. Got burned down. But I remember we were at the door, and I was dying to chin this guy. And I'm the doorman. This guy shows up, and we're with the doorman, and it's a nasty crew. You know what I mean? These door lads they're dealing with serious individuals from Manchester and Liverpool and whatnot. So there was a lot of gangs. A lot of gang activity. And these guys show up and it's all kicking off. I'm not sure exactly why, but there was one knobhead with a balaclava on, right? And he's just mouthing off for everyone at the door. And all the other lads aren't doing anything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, no one's doing anything. So there's going to be a reason why they're not doing it. Do you know what I mean? But look at the size of him. And I was just on his side. I'm just gonna give him a right up, bosh. Do you know what I mean? And sit him down and be the fucking hero. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, hold on a minute. No, if no one else is bothered, then why am I gonna have these? They're clearly very dangerous individuals. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna bring that on. But yeah, so I was a different kind of doorman when I was younger. All right, I just want to take a second to thank our newest sponsor, Manta Sleep, because I've been using their sleep mask. And let me tell you, I am sleeping like a baby. And I'm telling you, a good night's sleep, it is the remedy to a good next day. That sounds so obvious, but if you're sleep deprived, nothing goes well. You feel grouchy. You're not a good person to be around. You're not productive. You get headaches. You can't be bothered, okay? And driven by that belief, Manta Sleep is on a mission to give light sleepers control and mastery over their sleep. With Manta Sleep, you can maximize the enjoyment of life and unlock your full potential. The masks that I'm talking about, they are 100% blackout for deeper sleep. They are made of soft and breathable, durable materials, so you never worry about it stretching out or falling off. And they have a bunch of different products, I'm telling you, like the Sound Mask, which features razor-thin Bluetooth headphones with a 20-hour battery life. So, as always, this is a good one. Manta Sleep features a 60-day risk-free trial and free shipping to the USA. Give it a try. Give it a whirl. Don't like it? 60 days to get your money back. Go to the website, mantasleep.com. See their full selection of sleep accessories. They have body pillows, weighted blankets, sleep machines, everything that the light sleeper could need. So go to mantasleep.com. Use the promo code Bisping. You're going to get a further 10% off. The perfect gift for you or that light sleeper that everybody knows. Manta, sleep better. Anywhere, anytime. So, Harrington, what else we got?
Okay, Stone Thor wants to know, speaking of freak injuries, a couple guys want to know. Stone Thor wants to know any recommendations for exercise you did whilst recovering that really helped you out. He's recovering from ACL surgery himself. And you Paynes wants to know, he wants to know how a high-level athlete's perspective on coming back from a freak injury like that. He just had a shoulder surgery, and just going to the gym like a normal guy is freaking him out right now.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me say that it's a little bit like I had a fucking amazing surgeon and an amazing physio who helped me a lot, both of them. So that instills a lot of confidence in you. And they also had me doing a lot of one-legged exercise because obviously I had a knee injury. So I was doing a lot of one-legged exercises, and you just got to go slowly back into stuff, just build your confidence up. That's what I was doing. Is like, the first time back kicking and taking kicks in my knee, that was quite a big day for me, because I'd done a fair bit of like boxing training before. I'd even done a few boxing spars before, but the first time getting blasted in the knee, like kicked in the knee by someone my size or bigger, it was a little bit worrying at first. But I think ultimately for me, I had the knee injury for so long beforehand that now that I know it's fixed, like mentally, I feel so much better. Like I feel so much more. I just feel free mentally because I feel like my knee's not going to give out on me anymore. Like that's what I feel like. It doesn't feel unstable. It doesn't feel weak. It doesn't feel painful or anything like that. Whereas for like 5 years, I was dealing with all that before. So now that's completely gone. So that's kind of how I got to deal with it, is just the fact that it was bad for so long and now it feels so strong.
The biggest injury that I went through obviously was the eye thing. And I guess that was a little different because I wasn't sure if I'd ever return. But going through that time, I was, I went through some pretty dark days, shall we say, where I was feeling sorry for myself. I felt that not only my manhood, but my identity had been taken away, and I wasn't a fun guy to be around for a while. Did you experience some days like that?
Definitely. There was one day in particular, and I remember thinking, honestly, this is the first time I've ever thought this. And I thought, I don't know if I fucking want to do this anymore. I don't know if I want to risk this happening again. Because it's fucking hard to train for so long and have something like that happen in front of loads of people. It fucking hurts the ego, man. It's painful. Not just on the body, but like on the mind as well. Like it's still, like, I feel like my spirit is like a little bit hurt, and I can't wait to like come back and show everybody that that's not going to hold me back anymore. Do you know what I mean? I still feel like I don't know. I still feel like I've got a lot to prove to myself and to everybody else that that's not me, the person who falls over with a bad leg. Do you know what I mean? I feel like until I get back fighting and get some wins, I can't put that behind me fully. And yeah, there definitely was some days where I was like, fuck, is it worth doing this? And the answer is, yeah, I fucking love this sport. I absolutely love this sport. I live and breathe it. I've sacrificed everything for this sport. My whole life has been geared towards where I am now. And I fucking can't wait to just come back and just show everybody what I can do with two legs.
Well, I think everyone knows, Tom, that you're not the guy that fell down in that cage. It was a freak injury. But we have a lot of people that send in questions kind of on this topic here. When you were going through those dark days, and people can, take a lot of inspiration from this, not through fighting, but just through, there's a big focus on mental health these days, and a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are in a rut. They're feeling like they've got no inspiration. But like, we're northern lads and we don't talk about our feelings too much. But what kind of stuff helped you to get out of that slump, if for want of a better word?
Well, I'm very lucky, me personally, because a lot of people are, I'm around, like the people who are around me, and my dad and stuff, and my wife, and even my mum and my brother and stuff, like, they all believe in me. So I do have that, like, on my side massively. A lot of the time, like, my daddy won't let me get down in the dumps about this stuff. He just won't let me. Simple as that. So when I'm feeling down, the people around me, they tend to pick me up. So I'm very, very lucky in that respect. Also, I think with me, because I've been through a lot of tough times as well before this. And to be honest, even tougher times I've been through. I've always had a goal. And the goal has always been, I want to make a career of fighting people. Like, that's what I want to do. I really, really want to do that. And what I'm referring to there mainly, Mike, is when I was like 24 years old, I had like 3 children. And when I say no money, I mean, I had fucking no money. Like, from one week to the next, I didn't have anything. And I remember when I found out I was having twins, well, when my wife found out she was having twins, loads of people, like really close people, were like, look, what are you going to do now? You're going to get a job, or like, are you going to have to stop fighting now, aren't you? And there were so many people, literally a lot of close people around me, who thought that I couldn't do this anymore. And that belief in yourself and that goal and having that thing to work towards all the time, you've got to keep that in mind at all times. You have to. And I'm really lucky, because not everybody has a goal. Not everybody has something like that. Not everybody has a target to work towards. And it's fucking difficult, man. You go through tough times and you got to think about the end goal.
It's funny, isn't it? Because they often say you've got to have a why. You know what I mean? A why are you doing this? And you having twins there kind of might have, that is your why, you know, why you want to do this, why you want to become successful at it, become a champion and all the rest of it. But that was kind of tearing you apart in 2 ways. The why could have been, well, now I've got to go get a real job. I've got to stop messing around. You know, or I'm going to continue and push even further. Because I know in my situation, people were talking shit about me. Some of my mates were like, what is he doing? Because you know, I wasn't in your situation, but I just quit. You know, I found out about what UFC was. I quit work, you know, and I was a bit of a knucklehead around town. And I was like, what's he doing? Yeah, he thinks he's hard. And now he's going to go off and become a professional fighter. He's not being a very good dad. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, powerful words, Tom.
I've got a similar story, actually. So someone who's close to my wife, so a relative of my wife, so just somebody who's close to her.
Yep.
I remember they were essentially saying, not in so many words, but they were essentially saying, like, to her and to me, like, you need to sort yourself out, or basically, you need, so this, not like this exactly, but she was basically saying that you need to look after your wife and your kids, basically, or someone else is going to do it.
Yeah.
Essentially that. Because you've got no money, you're messing around, you're living on this kind of fake dream kind of thing. You know, it's never going to happen, stuff like that. And recently, the same person has come to me and asked me for money. Recently. Because they want to borrow money off me. And it's fucking wild the way the world works, and it's going to complete 360. To complete 180, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, these people, they don't believe in you, because a lot of the time, these people, they just don't, they've got like a short mindset, like they can't see the big picture, and they can't dream, and they can't believe that they can achieve the dreams like that. And, you know, like I say, I'm really lucky to have like my old man around me and stuff like that, who's always instilled me from a young age, look, this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it, and this is the plan. And that's why, like, this is mine and my dad's thing, and I'll always listen to my dad above anyone and everyone else.
That's why I always instill in my kids, dream big, you know, and I don't think enough people are told that. And certainly, and again, you know, we have in common from the part of the world where we're from, around our neck of the woods, you kind of designed that you're just going to fit into the mold. Like in Clitheroe, people are born in Clitheroe, they'll work their entire life there and they die there. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. And they have a very happy life, you know what I mean? But stepping outside of that box, breaking the mold, dreaming big, trying to just daring to say it out loud. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight in the UFC, or I'm going to be an actor, or whatever it is that someone's saying that they want to do. It blows people's minds. And I think it's the people with a negative mindset that really potentially don't have the ability to do something like that they're the ones that kind of want to shut those doors and shut down your hopes and dreams, because they've got fuck all going on in their life as well.
definitely. I completely agree. The other day, actually, I was driving around the estate near mine, like a council estate, and I seen 3 girls I went to school with, all walking together with prams, with like fake designer coats on, and it just fucking sent shivers down my spine. To be honest with you, I was just like, that's exactly where they were supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what they were supposed to do. And like you say, even now, I look people in the eye and I say to them, look, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world, you know. And I think that some people, they don't know where to look. They don't know whether to laugh or not. They don't know whether I'm joking. And it's the same when I used to say, look, I'm going to be in the UFC, baby. Like, even like when my, when I had 3 kids and I had basically no money, and I used to have to like borrow money off people to get to the gym to train. And like I used to say, look, I'm going to be in the UFC, I'm going to pay you back, you know. I'm going to pay you back, and money's not going to be an issue for me one day. And I could see people like almost rolling their eyes and being like, oh yeah, this dickhead, what's he talking about? He's going to end up working in the factory in like 6 months. And, like you say, I think we need to like install it in our kids early. You can do whatever you want. And that's, to be honest, that's one of the things that I hate about like where I live. I absolutely love where I live, but the mentality of people here, it hurts me sometimes. The small-minded mentality of people, because there's so much talent that people have got, so many good things that people can do, but nobody, like, it's generational. People don't believe in themselves. People don't tell the kids that they can do stuff. People don't tell them that you're free to do whatever you want to do. You know, you don't have to do just what your dad's done or your uncle's doing or whatever. You can do whatever you want to do, and people don't believe it, and people need to start believing.
It is generational, as you said. You know, it's generational. It's kind of, and it's just kind of like the system. And when we're talking about small town mentalities, and I think based on, so also adding to that is there's not much opportunity around. You know what I mean? Whereas the standard, it's not even 9 to 5. It's more like fucking 6 till 5 or 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. working in factories and all the rest of it, doing manual labor. That's just what, you know, working class lads are destined to do. And that's what everyone else does. And when you can be brave enough to speak up and try and step outside of that mold, that's where you kind of get attacked or people, not attacked. That's far too strong a word, but where you kind of get a little criticism, you know, and as I say, often that's based in not jealousy, again, that's too strong, but a little bit of envy there as well. But still, as you say, fantastic part of the world, but there's just, you know, I love it dearly. I miss it dearly. I miss the people. And as you say, so many talented people, you know what I mean? The sense of humor on some people and the skill and the wittiness and just, you know, the overall people in general. A beautiful Tommy, like you. Anyway, right. Well, that all got a bit deep, didn't it?
It did. I thought it's usually a laugh on this place. Well, it's because Anthony Smith, isn't he, you see? Bringing the humour. He's usually bringing the humour. Where is he anyway? He's in camp, isn't he? He's in camp.
He's just like you, training for a fight. How dare he? Putting his hopes and dreams first before jumping on this little rinky-dink podcast. We had to call Tom Aspinall.
Who's he fighting now? I can't remember.
Johnny Walker.
That's it. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, isn't it?
Yeah, good fight. Give us a prediction. We'll let you go on that.
I think Anthony's going to beat him. I think
you've got to say that, haven't you? You've got to say that.
Well, I don't know Anthony that well. I've only spoken to him on here. I've never met him face to face. I don't know him.
Yeah.
But I think Anthony's like gritty, isn't he? And it seems that although Johnny Walker is very dangerous, but I think Anthony's a veteran, and I think that counts for a lot, doesn't it? If you've had a lot of tough fights and you know how to weather the storm, and you know how to control your energy, and you don't get too excited when you get someone hurt, and you don't panic too much when you get hurt, I think that counts for a lot. And I think Anthony's got a lot of that in him, and I think he can win, definitely.
Well, he's the better martial artist, without question. Without question, he's a better martial artist. But Johnny Walker is just a dangerous man in terms of unpredictability, explosions, and just sheer power. That makes him dangerous. But in terms of technical ability, Anthony's got it all day long. Tom, great talking to you, mate. Always a pleasure. Tell your dad I say hello, and hopefully see you in person soon, my brother.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me as always, and have a lovely, well, it's evening here. I don't know what time it is there.
I'm on the same time zone, 8 p.m. I'm off doing it's non-stop work for me, Tom. I've been at it all day. I'm doing this.
Have a lovely day. Have a lovely day, Harrington.
Yeah, no, I'm off to a movie set. I'm going to be going till 6 o'clock in the morning. That's Northwest work ethic for you.
The guy, he's not giving up yet. He's not giving up yet.
I'm not seeing a pound note I didn't want to pick up. Take it easy, Tom. See you later, buddy. And there he is, Tom Aspinall. Can't wait for the return. Hopefully it's in July, but whenever it is, listen, I think the man will be a champion one day, without question. He's got all the makings, but more importantly, the physical tools, but the mindset. And especially when you speak to him in depth like that, and he opens up a bit about, the journey that he's been on. Yeah, it's very, very inspiring.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. I am so psyched for that card. And it is awesome. Like, Tom is a big enough star in the UK to carry a London card all day long. And that's exciting for UK MMA for sure.
Oh, absolutely it is. I mean, listen, there's 2 shows that he mentioned there. That's mainstream TV. Question of Sport. That's like, I remember watching Question of Sport with my dad when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? So he's breaking down barriers. Of course, he's had 2 main events in the UK. Is it 2 or 3? Yeah, 2, I believe. Yeah, 2 main events. So a lot of exposure, and no doubt it is going to continue. Right, listen, we're not doing questions today. If you want to send one in, though, for the next show with myself and Anthony and all the boys, send them into bympod@gmail.com. We will answer them then. But until then, that is the end of the show. You guys be well. Take care. Harrington.
If you're watching on iTunes, Spotify, if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the show. Leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and uncensored, head to the brand new gasdigital.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
Yes, well said. We appreciate you all. Subscribe. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Come on. Jeez Louise. What are you doing? Right. Enjoy your weekends. Thank you for watching. We'll be back Monday with a stack show with Anthony. I'll be back as well. And we'll have a couple of guests. Be well. Take care. All the best.